We're an island nation, drawn to the sea that surrounds us. For many, it's a playground. For others, it's where we earn our living. But the sea is unpredictable. It can change in an instant. And when accidents happen, they happen very fast.
You're in cold water, you're not going to last long.
There to save our lives is a volunteer army of 5,000 ordinary people, ready to leave their jobs, their families, and race to our rescue.
1 minute you're just an ordinary person, the next minute you're a lifeboat crew member.
They're the last line of defence against the deadly water.
Wouldn't even like to think what would happen if there was no one there.
I was waiting for that, but the guardian angel came.
To save someone's life is a privilege. You feel like you're doing the most important thing on earth.
Thank you.
Over 200 years, the volunteers of the RNLI have saved the lives of more than 140,000 people.
Brave lifeboat men don't cry.
Rubbish. I do.
Treating every call-out as a matter of life and death.
That's what we all turn up for, to save people's lives.
It's Saturday morning in an out-of-season Blackpool, and holidaymakers are few and far between. Shortly after 8 a.m, the crew of volunteers at the lifeboat station receive a call for help. When the alarm is raised at this time of year, life expectancy for anyone struggling in the water can be measured in minutes.
Yeah, this is Blackpool RV1. We're being told there's a woman in the water around the mirror.
The woman has been spotted swimming out to sea, fully clothed.
In Blackpool, we do get our fair share of people who've got emotional and mental problems. If we're fortunate, we'll get there and we'll rescue them. If we're not fortunate, it could be days or weeks later when they're recovered.
Today, the sea temperature is only 11 degrees. In water this cold, cramp and exhaustion set in rapidly.
She was quite a ways out, but she wasn't in actual difficulty. Give us your hand! Give us your hand! No! Give us your hand! No! Come with us! She was quite happily just swimming around. She wasn't trying to drown herself or anything like that. Roll over, come on. She didn't want to get into the boat, she wanted to carry on swimming, but we managed to talk her around. Sit yourself down.
Jesus is over there!
That's all right, sweetie.
We're going to Jesus!
We told her, you know, we can't take you to Jesus, but, you know, we can certainly take you back to shore.
Jesus!
A lot of the people we get are difficult to communicate with at first, but that particular woman, the communication was there, but she wasn't necessarily listening to what we were saying to her.
Don't get out. Go on, sit yourself down.
I'm getting out.
You'll be getting out in a second with her.
Jesus is over there.
That's right, we'll take you, look.
Go ahead.
Yeah, right. Stay down. Everyone, we can do the police just come down and I'll go up to the...
Yeah, we're coming down now, the coffers. Over. Jesus! Jesus! Get off me!
No.
Oh, I like your boots.
Thank you, good, aren't they?
That moment when she spotted the Wellington,
Yeah.
it did snap her out of it, and then she could understand us fully.
Oh, sit down, sit down. Just relax, stay down there.
Just get up with it.
Just hang on a second.
Just 1 second.
Right, you're going to get out now, okay?
It's a little boat.
It is a little boat, yeah.
Jesus.
I remember leaving the house. The sea is only a 5-10 minute walk from where I live. But how I got there, I don't know.
Do you remember getting in?
I actually don't. I remember being in, but I don't remember getting in.
A minute.
Give you a minute. All right. You tell us when you're ready.
I was always confident, always self-assured, and always regarded as quite a strong person. But I think going through a messy divorce, life's events and depression, anxiety, they can hit you at any time. You might think, oh, well, okay, but when they all come together, there's only so much people can take. You know, we're only human.
Oh, it's all right, I can walk.
Come on then.
You're
going to stand up then?
Yeah.
Come on then, stand up.
I can walk. I can see the light.
All right. Swing your legs over. That's it. And the other one.
In the words of friends and family, there's the normal Lindy, which is the Lindy today, and then there's another one. So a bit like a Jekyll and Hyde. So I was probably, in that, it was the other Lindy that day.
Our job is just to rescue people who are in distress, whether they be accidentally in distress or whether it's their intent to put themselves in that position. What we're not there to do is judge people.
You know where the sea and the sky meet each other? I think I just wanted to get over to that bit. I don't know if I thought heaven was over there or something. I don't know.
Since her rescue, Lindy has been receiving regular psychiatric treatment.
If the RNLI crew hadn't come out and I'd gone a bit further, I might not have been so lucky. People have heroes that come and they're on that, like, knights in shining armour, galloping on a horse. Well, obviously my heroes came in a boat and in wellies.
Nationwide, 5,000 yellow-booted volunteers are on standby right through the winter. At Abersoch in North Wales, there are 15 people on the crew.
So this is Fritz. He's the senior helm. He's been on station about 25 years. Stuffed it up. Really? Okay, Andy's my fiance.
And you have to excuse me, I've got to answer my phone. Excuse me. Hey, you're getting down.
Is there a strong bond between you and your fellow crewmen?
Oh Christ, yeah, like a little family in the station. Because we all live locally. We've known each other for years. We all get on together and good crack, really.
Fritz lives a few miles from the station with his Springer Spaniel puppy Belle,
Nuts, yeah.
Alyssa, who he met through the RNLI, and his teenage children.
Ever since we were born, that's been part of the lifeboat, so we just react to it as normal everyday activity, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll come back. It's all right.
Yeah. That'd be a good thing. Quite sad if it didn't come back, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
All RNLI volunteers must come to accept the risks they face. But it's during these winter months that the dangers are at their greatest. Shortly after 11 a.m, the alarm goes off. One of two spear fishermen fishing at the base of a nearby cliff has been dashed against the rocks by a wave and injured his head.
Found out that there was 2 adults and 1 wasn't moving. So immediately it was the urgency picked up.
27-year-old Andy has only just qualified as a helmsman.
There's definitely a few nerves. First time in charge after passing out 2 days before. So I asked Fritz to come with me as a bit of experience.
The casualties are stranded on a stretch of the coast notorious for its strong swells. As they approach the cliff, the winds pick up to force 7.
Coast Guard, this is Absolute Lifeboat. We can't see anything at the present moment, over.
The crew spot the casualties on a rocky outcrop just above the reach of the waves.
They'd obviously clambered up the rocks themselves. As the sea was getting higher, they had nowhere else to go because it was an overhanging cliff above them.
It's a bad place to be. Yeah.
Can we take us in, man?
We decided to put the nose of the boat into the rocks. Pretty hairy situation to get the boat into.
Paul, just go on, man. Stand by, yeah? Yeah. Holly, I'd Coast Guard, this Absolute Lifeboat, over. Jump on that rock. Holly, I'd Coast Guard, 10. Watch rocks, to back end.
With the wind worsening, experienced helm Fritz takes over.
If you don't time it right, you could be pushed with the swell on top of the rock and then you'd be stuck on them yourself.
Take it easy, mate. Go right, I'm going into that groove there. Hey! Big one coming in, big sack coming in. Big sack coming in. Hey, go in, Andy. Go on, Dave. Get me in there. I am, mate. I'm going in now. Okay, you take it easy. Okay?
While Fritz is now able to retreat to a safe distance, balanced on a narrow ledge, Andy and Paul must try to assess the casualties.
One of them told me that he'd banged his head and he had some sort of neck injury as well. So I was quite wary that we needed to keep him still. So the first thing we did was to try and put a neck brace on the casualty. The waves are building up, so it's getting quite tricky. I straddled the casualty just to try and protect him so he didn't get washed away.
And were they scared?
Yeah, they're very scared. Yeah.
Because the wind was picking up, the waves just kept on getting bigger and bigger.
It just became wild out there, really. It was quite a frightening sea, really.
Given reports of the casualties' condition, the Coast Guard has scrambled a helicopter. But as it arrives, the seas continue to deteriorate.
Paul spotted some large waves coming in and they were pretty much at our level.
A big wave completely swamped us all.
It all went dark. I grabbed one of the men's legs.
I realised then that it was pulling me off the cliffs with the volume of water. So if I didn't let go of the casualty, he would have come down the rocks with me. So I had to make a decision to let go. That's when I was washed off the cliffs.
Swept off the cliff, Paul is now at risk of being smashed against the rocks and dragged out to sea.
When I was underwater, I could make out some shapes of the rocks, so I kind of swam towards them. The don't know where the energy came from, to be honest, but I just managed to find a gap in between the waves. I just went for it.
He managed to grab hold of the rock face and climb back to help Andy, which was securing the other two on the rock, just in case another wave came. It's quite frightening, really, for him, I'd say. 122 came, the helicopter came. And we asked them to winch them, all four of them, really, off the rock face.
Did you ever think you were going to die?
Possibly for a split second when I was in the water. I thought about my family. We'd just had a newborn baby girl. I just thought there's no way it's time to die yet.
Last thing you want to do is lose one of your colleagues, especially as it was my decision to put him on the ledge, so yeah, I don't really want to think about it, to be honest.
Thanks to the efforts of the crew, the two spear fishermen made it safely to hospital.
Are you a brave man, Paul?
I wouldn't call myself brave, no. No, I just like to help out. Probably more scared doing this interview than I was doing that shout.
One of the worst tragedies ever to have taken place off the Welsh coast occurred in 1947 when gales drove the 7,000-ton cargo ship Sam Tampa ashore near Scare Point. All 41 crew members lost their lives, and while trying to rescue them, 8 lifeboat crew from the Mumbles lifeboat station were also killed. More than 400 lifeboat volunteers have died trying to rescue people at sea. And for the current crew at the Mumbles lifeboat station in Swansea Bay, the 1947 Sam Tampa tragedy still resonates.
The 8 crew of the lifeboat launched from a lifeboat station that was still in use until 2 years ago. And at times that had not been far from my mind. I'd never lost that because 8 men went from that boathouse and never came back.
All the crew on board the lifeboat, as well as on the vessel, drowned in the oil from the Sam Tampa as opposed to the sea itself. I would imagine that would be a terrible way to go.
All 8 men who died attempting to rescue the Sam Tampa crew are buried together in a cemetery overlooking the bay.
Obviously, things are a lot safer today, but the conditions that occurred on the 23rd of April 1947 have occurred since then around South Wales and have been more severe at times even. The risks are always there, the waves are always there, the wind is always there. We would hope that it wouldn't happen again, but there is always a potential of it, yes.
In Mumbles, I believe we've lost the most lifeboat crew of any lifeboat station. We don't want to become casualties. We want to come home.
Today there's a spell of winter sunshine, but the sea is still an icy 5 degrees. An emergency call is coming in.
Slam the brake.
And the Mumbles crew launch their inshore boat.
To our plan, to assist a female who was believed gone in the water to rescue her dog. She is now clinging onto a cliff on Ordeal Beach, 3 Cliffs Bay.
When you get a call to 3 Cliffs, the first thing you think is, you know, we better get there quick because how treacherous it is.
The Bristol Channel has the 2nd highest tidal range in the world. And on flat beaches, like those around 3 Cliffs, the tide comes in dangerously fast.
When we get a call to that area, you know, there's always fear the worst, really.
This area has seen more than 40 incidents in the last 5 years.
There are parts of the Bristol Channel where you would struggle to outrun the tide.
2 people lost their lives in the waters around the bay just last summer, and the Coast Guard has scrambled a helicopter to the scene.
Then we're clear to go in and have a chance to win first. Take the dogs from here anyway.
Yeah.
All right, how are you doing?
All right, just put the bow on, Rich.
Your name's Anne. Cold and wet, but otherwise fine. Aren't you? You feel that?
Where she was on the rocks with the rising tide, and then behind her there was sheer rock face of about well over 100 feet.
No way up, no way down.
Right there, and we'll manage you very carefully, okay?
She was stuck there, really.
Former nursery teacher Anne went to rescue her dogs after they became cut off by the incoming tide.
Now I know that coast like the back of my hand, and I know you have to act very, very quickly. So I started to wade across to where the dogs were, and then it was waist high within half a minute. It was so fast. I know it comes in fast along that part of the coast. It's notorious. But this day, it outrun me. And I had to step into it. It must have been a deep rock pool because I was soon out of my depth. And then I had to swim to stay up, which wasn't easy because all my heavy winter clothes were saturated now. It is just like swimming with lead weights in your pocket.
I'll put the boat parallel in there now when you get it down a little bit. You can just step on.
I was sinking. I simply couldn't do it anymore. And I felt so calm. It was ridiculous. I felt so calm. And I looked at the dogs and I thought to myself, oh, so this is how I end my days, drowning trying to save my dogs. And I wasn't at all upset or worried. When I sank down, luckily, my left foot touched on a rock, and I managed then to push myself up with my left foot, and I scrambled up onto the rocks where the dogs were.
Would it be safer to do a dog first? Yeah, hello. Jenny. Can you come down? Jenny, can you come to us?
It's a frightening experience enough for a person who knows that help is at hand, but the dogs don't know we're there to help.
Yeah, can you pass me Jenny's lead?
She'll pull her head out of it.
There, Jenny.
We try to get the dogs in first.
Jenny. Good girl. Come on. Come here. Good girl.
But they weren't moving from Anne's side.
Okay, great.
Anne wasn't really going without dogs.
You got the boat, boys.
And the dogs certainly weren't going without Anne. So we decided that change of plan.
Do you want to come down first of all and the dog will follow you then?
We would then bring Anne into the lifeboat and get Anne to call the dogs herself.
Here we are, Anne. Nice and easy, Anne. You can stand on there.
That's it.
Jenny!
That's it, she'll come down now. Lovely.
Yeah, no, that way.
Good girl. Good girl.
The Bernese mountain dog, I thought this is going to be the tricky one.
I got it.
Very, very heavy.
One dog in particular was a lot bigger than the other. I didn't fancy picking that one up.
Can you go?
This one's a little reluctant as well.
Come on, Jess! Come on, Jess!
That's
it. Terrified.
Come
on, Jess!
That's it. Good girl. Good girl.
Hooray!
Right.
Stand on a dog. No, you're all right.
There we go.
You hear time and time again of people entering to help animals, and unfortunately the dog will get out safely and the owner doesn't. And like I say, year on year you see this happening.
Well done, Rich. You're keeping it really dry there, Rich.
The sea was determined to get me that day. There's no doubt about it. It was absolutely determined to get me. And if it wasn't for the RNLI, it would have.
Hello, Jess. Hello, pups.
Do you like dogs?
I do. I've always had a dog, and I've actually got an 8-week old golden retriever pup.
That's the way. Well done, Fatty.
Would you risk your life for your dog?
It would be easy to say, no, I wouldn't, but there, you know, knowing what she means to me, you know, obviously, if I saw her in trouble, I'd want to try and help. That's human instinct, isn't it?
We're seeing a lot of animal rescues. Dogs are the favourite, I think. There was even an incident of a dog which fell 300 foot down a cliff.
Hello. It's okay. So you're all nice and warm? Good girl.
You do see other farm animals. Sheep, cows.
Well done, boys. Cheers.
Personally, I haven't rescued a deer.
I've handled rescues of animals, from anything from a horse to a cow to an iguana to a snake to a dolphins. Tried to, you know, get dolphins back into the sea.
Some people will be thinking, why are you risking your life to try and rescue a cow or something?
We do it because we like saving lives. We're there to help all creatures, great and small.
At the other end of Wales, on the island of Anglesey, is Moylver Lifeboat Station. Mid-afternoon, a call comes in from the Coast Guard.
5 people in the water.
A group of people in a speedboat are in trouble 2 miles down the coast. The all-weather lifeboat is scrambled to Point Linus, an area prone to an unusual and dangerous phenomenon called a tidal race.
It's when you have a depth change from a deep water to a shallow water, then that causes waves over the bank.
When the incoming tide passes over a submerged reef or shelf in the seabed, it creates breaking waves and hazardous currents that can catch out even the most experienced sailors.
The sea can hit you on the bow and then it can hit your side on as well.
We go and exercise there quite often because of the big waves there, and they'll swamp you. There's many people that have died out there.
The Coast Guard helicopter has located the casualties washed into a cove along with their waterlogged boat.
The immediate concern was how long they'd been in the water, what state they were in.
What happened? Did you just break down? Did you hear? Yeah, in the race just off there, yeah. How many more people are taking water on? Take them back to the boat and maybe recommend a helicopter evacuation, yeah? Roger, we're sending 2 people back to you. One has been sick.
As the crew begin to ferry the stricken sailors to the lifeboat, one of the casualties complains of shortness of breath.
What's your name, love? Robin. Robin, my name's Alan. Okay, how are you feeling? You cold? You dizzy? Yeah, have you been in the water at all? No, okay. Take some deep breaths for me. It's okay. We're here now. Yeah, deep, slow breaths for me. It's okay.
If somebody says they've got breathing difficulties, we have to take that very seriously. It's a post-rescue collapse, really.
Take some deep, slow breaths for me.
Once they see a rescuer, they go, oh, that's it, we've been saved. And then everything hits home and the situation can then deteriorate.
She's getting a bit cold, Matt.
All of a sudden I couldn't breathe. I couldn't see, my arms were tingling. I felt like my dry suit was suffocating me.
She's showing a bit of shock.
Halfway across, she started going frantically at the neck seal. So we gently prized the neoprene cuff off her
neck and just slit it with a knife, just so she could feel a bit at ease.
Come on, look. You're going to be all right, okay? You have to just crawl like you're lying and things. Throw yourself in the bucket, that's it. Well, definitely go.
You've got to remember what they've been through. Most of them are probably thinking that they're dying and they're going to die.
Walk with me now, okay?
You've just got to keep reassuring them that everything will be okay.
I'm right behind you, so don't worry.
With the casualty's condition worsening, a paramedic is winched down onto the lifeboat.
I want you to try and calm down, my lovely, okay? Alright, you just rest there. I'm Chaz, Robin. Just go back there, my darling. Let me go in the oxygen mask.
You feel like you're desperately trying to breathe normally, but you can't do that, and you are gasping for air.
I'm just going to get the oxygen.
She was breathing really quickly, which you do in a panic state.
Why am I not just calming down? Why am I not just giving myself a slap and saying, come on, you're fine now, you're on the lifeboat, it's over, it's done?
Okay, come in.
Despite the team's efforts, Robin's panic attack continues to escalate. Gas and air can help reduce anxiety and regulate the breathing.
Robin, we're going to give you a bit of Entonox, alright?
The more and more I panicked, and the more air I gasped for, the worse and worse the pain got. And it was so bad.
She had deteriorated and needed evacuating, really.
I'm going to take you as well, or I'm going to go back home. I'm not going to leave you. I'm going to take you. Right. Take off!
I doubt it very much that she would even know where she was looking because her eyes were just going everywhere. And you're trying to get her to focus at you and just you and nothing else, and then she'd be off again looking somewhere else, and you go, no, come on, look at me. Everything will be okay.
I wouldn't have cared if it was Joe Bloggs piloting that helicopter. As long as it was getting me to hospital and getting me there quickly, I really couldn't have cared less. When we arrived at hospital, I can remember him turning around and smiling and saying that he hoped I'd be okay. Really, I'm glad he didn't want to stop and chat because I just wanted to go inside and seen by the doctor.
Robin had to spend a few hours in hospital being checked over, but was able to return home to her family later that day. In Blackpool, despite strong winds blowing in from the Irish Sea, a few tourists are still braving the beach. A call comes in from the Coast Guard alerting the crew that someone's reported hearing shouts from the water near North Pier. 3 volunteers are scrambled to the rescue.
Just get heat in it, Dad.
At the helm is electrician Darren, who's been volunteering with the RNLI for more than 18 years. Today, a force 7 wind is whipping up 2 to 3 metre swells.
Yeah, 11-6 RV2, whereabouts do you want us over? Watch yourself, Dad. Yeah. Ready to go. Hell. Whoa! Come on. Yeah, fine. Where's Dad? Dad! Watch yourself.
Helmsman Darren has not resurfaced,
Get away from the boat.
but in danger of being knocked unconscious by the upturned boat. There's little that crewmates Simon and Kyle can do to help him.
Easy, stay up. Get a flare out, get a flare out. Wait.
Every lifeboat crew carries a special red flare, only to be used when their own lives are at risk.
When you see the red flare, shouting, shit. I've never seen a crewman fire a red flare off up until then.
As Sean and the crew of a second lifeboat race to their rescue, Kyle and Simon are being washed towards the metal structure of the pier.
Mate, we're going to get in trouble in a minute. Yeah. Watch yourself. Push yourself away from the boat. Watch your head. Watch your head, Kyle. Yeah. This way. This way. Just get through this pier. Watch your head. Another big wave coming, Kyle. Watch your head. Watch your head.
As we pulled up to North Pier, the crew were just coming under the pier. So we threw them a line and pulled them in.
It was nice to get out of the sea. You don't get any idea what it's like to actually capsize a boat until the day that you do capsize a boat.
But it's not like in training, is it?
No, nothing like training. But I was still more concerned about Darren and where he was.
Come on! There he is! Just go to the cab, John. Daz, are you okay? Daz, are you alright? You alright, Daz?
When we saw Darren and he gave us the thumbs up, we thought, oh, thank God for that. So, you know he's fine. Just got to get the other boat to him as fast as possible.
We were expecting to rescue our own.
Is that the first time you've had to do that?
I've never experienced it in my time, my service on the lifeboat for 20 years. And hopefully I don't experience it again.
Darren had become tangled in some rope and was trapped underneath the boat until another rogue wave fortuitously set him free.
Did you think you might die?
There's a definite, I could have drowned, yes.
Mate, we'll try getting back onto the boat. Just physically.
The first thought when I was under the boat is 5-6 minutes ago I was watching Britain's Got Talent. It's just one extreme to the other. Relaxed, comfort, family. Under a boat, drowning, near death. I think it's brought us closer together because you're more aware of what can actually go wrong. And you're more cautious as well now.
The crew came dangerously close to disaster. And on this occasion, the reports of someone in trouble in the water turned out to be a false alarm.
Why are you willing to risk your life?
I don't know. I've no idea. Someone said to me once, how much do you get paid? And I said, we do it for nothing.
Not only are the lifeboat crews giving up their time for free, but with many of them working full-time, they face the challenge of juggling their volunteering and their day jobs. In Abersoch, North Wales, volunteer Alyssa works as an employment solicitor.
First couple of times I had shouts in the middle of the night and then came in. When I arrived at work looking like I'd been dragged through a bush and, you know, clutching coffee. Ron in the morning and it's just like, you know, what are you doing here? See you, cheers, thanks Ron. Just next time, just call and say, this has happened. He's really good about saying, look, just go and have some sleep.
We want to attract people who have that spirit of wanting to help. We're extremely proud of Alyssa, but she's very passionate about law, very passionate about her clients, and certainly very passionate about helping people, so it's worked well.
2 months ago, Alyssa took on an extra responsibility, signing up for the flood rescue team.
I love the RNLI so much, so for me the flood team seemed like the next natural step. It's something a bit different to what we do on the coast.
Okay guys, here we are.
The team was formed in the year 2000 to help provide a rapid emergency response to incidents of serious flooding, which are becoming increasingly common.
Callum, Alyssa, take Landy.
Cool.
With Guy. Cool.
Here are some of the scenes taken in Cumbria earlier on today. Severe flooding is taking place. The Met Office have issued a rare red weather warning, the highest tier of warning for the potentially very heavy rain. We've already seen over 100 millimetres of rain widely.
It's shortly before Christmas, and the torrential rains have engulfed towns and villages across Cumbria in floodwater, which is rising by the hour. The team heads straight for the town of Kendal, where the nearby River Kent has broken its banks.
All roads surrounding Keswick are blocked and badly affected by large areas of surface water.
When I got there, I was speechless, really. To see the level of the water and the speed that it was moving at, it was nothing like I'd ever experienced before. You can almost see it rising before your eyes, and it's still raining. You just think this is never going to stop.
You worry about Alyssa?
Yeah, I do worry a lot about her. Really. There is an aspect of what if. You never know with the floods.
Everybody happy, yeah?
The volunteers need to begin a house-to-house search. But every step is fraught with dangers.
Everybody hold on.
Yeah. Tighten if you can, tighten.
We never know what's in front of us. If the water doesn't take your feet from underneath you, then the next log or the next bin or the next car that drifts downriver will. Manholes are the worst. Manholes will lift under the pressure of water through the drains, and that'll just leave a big gaping hole in the floor, and it'll actually pull you in.
How many people are in with you? Hey mate, you alright?
Hi, can you stay there for us, mate?
Yeah.
The crew are still mid-search when news comes in that a pregnant woman and her family are stranded in an isolated bungalow on the outskirts of town.
There's a family of 6 trapped in their house, and the floodwater's only set to get worse.
We've got some survivor's life jackets.
The bungalow is situated at the bottom of a gully, and the only access route has become a torrent of floodwater.
The water was too fast flowing, so our boats were effectively useless. The one big piece of kit that we've got for going in the water, and we can't use it.
What's your name, mate? Hi. Nice to meet you, Blake.
A local farmer came up to us and said, I can drive you there.
There's this tractor and you think, it's not conventional, it's not orthodox, but you know, we'll give it a go.
The volunteers attach a rescue sled to the back of the tractor.
Okay, we're off, okay? Yeah, we've got one.
The guy was hanging out the back window holding it because it just wouldn't fit in the cab.
To reach the bungalow, they need to navigate down 300 metres of submerged lane.
Until the headlights of the tractor came round, you just couldn't picture it. Once it was illuminating, we looked and thought, wow, this is pretty bad.
I was driving the tractor and there was very, very fast flowing water down the drive. It's like a funnel, basically, sucking all the water in. There's a lot of air in tractor tyres, and the risk was The tractor could have carried away by the current. The current was that strong.
Okay, Liz, you go to that corner now, Liz. Are you ready?
Thanks to the farmers' help, the volunteers have made it to the family's home.
No hazards here, no? Let's go then. You alright, dear? Where are the other two? In the kitchen, where's the kitchen? Yeah.
It was cold in the house, it was dark, there was a lot of noise going on with the running water. It wasn't a pleasant place to be.
Hello? Hiya. You through here? Hi, alright? How long pregnant are you? 7 months, okay.
The pregnant woman and her partner have had to climb onto the kitchen worktops to escape the rising water.
Kid now, yeah? What's your name, Grandad?
Also in the house are the man's grandparents, both in their 70s.
What's your name, buddy? Come on, Seb.
And in a bedroom, 2 little boys aged 5 and 3.
Poor kids were stuck on the top bunk of their bunk beds, and it was like 8 inches below the beds, so they didn't have long at all.
You alright, mate? Yeah, there is, isn't there? Have you got any leads?
They'd been in there a very, very, very long time with no electricity, no sanitation. They'd even thought about breaking through the ceilings to see if they can get up to the roof. It was that desperate.
The crew need to ferry the casualties to the tractor so they can be driven to higher ground.
That needs to go out, around here.
But there's only room to take 2 people at a time.
We want to get all these people out now. We don't want to be prioritising people. We don't want to be saying, you have to wait, you're coming with us now. But we have no other option than doing that.
They begin a relay to extract the family, starting with the youngest child.
Hi, Jacob. Hi, Jacob. How you doing?
And his grandmother.
Okay, we just got a quick ride in a tractor. Yeah. See that big step there, Jacob? Step up. Okay.
They must now wait for the tractor to drop off the first casualties and return. But all around them, the water level is continuing to rise.
With each trip, you see that the water's risen inches again. This situation is developing. It's developing quickly and it's getting worse.
My legs were quite quickly getting tired, and I was wading through much deeper water.
Next, they take the pregnant woman and the 5-year-old boy.
Come on, Seb. Yeah, mate, you come here. I've got you, Seb. I've got you. I've got you. Okay, Seb, you're going to go on here? I'm coming with you. I've got you. Right, yeah? Okay, see you in a minute.
You can feel the tractor vibrating, you can feel the water pushing this machine that weighs tons and tons. You can feel it really moving, and we're saying to the tractor driver, you know this machine, you need to tell us when this isn't safe anymore and when you can't come back.
Despite the dangers, the farmer decides to risk another trip to rescue the granddad, the father-to-be,
Got to get the dogs as well, remember?
and the family's 2 Labradors.
Girl, good girl.
But the crew must still wait for their turn to be driven to safety.
Yeah. Get it on the back. Okay, whoa! That's it. Okay, I've got it. That tractor driver deserves a medal. He does. Fucking hell, yeah. Without it, they wouldn't have done it.
Are you a good tractor driver?
I can drive a tractor. I've done it for a lot of years. Doesn't matter if I was a crap tractor driver or a good tractor driver, I got the family out. That was the important thing.
To To see somebody's house torn apart, to see the whole family in distress, it's quite difficult. Home's everything. It's your family, it's your kids, but it's how you make your home. You know, with all your personal belongings, you put pictures up of your family, pictures up of your loved ones. And once that's taken away from you, it's all gone. You can't get those old pictures back, and it's got to be heartbreaking.
More than 45,000 homes were affected by the Cumbrian floods.
Hello!
In total, the flood rescue team came to the aid of more than 400 people.
Okay, next.
We'll mark the property to show to not only ourselves but other agencies that that house has then been cleared. You start going down the flooded street and it's just an eerie silence. There's no kids on the streets, there's no cars passing by. In fact, we're going over the tops of cars in our boats.
There's no little sports cars hidden in the drivers there. Just the two of you? Yes. Okay.
If people stay in their properties, they haven't got the ability to call for help. Their phones are down, their mobile batteries go flat. Communication in general is very, very difficult.
We're talking to people as we're evacuating from their homes, saying they'd just finished decorating their houses, or another family had just moved in, thinking, oh, we'll be in their new house before Christmas. So when you see Christmas presents and photo albums floating out of houses, it's upsetting. You know, some of the most personal things that they have are just gone.
It's definitely coming up. When we left, you could see the curb. It's completely gone now.
I was brought up by the seaside. You know how the tide comes in, slowly comes in, and the next wave's just a bit nearer than the last. That's what it was like looking down the street. It was just ebbing up, not down, but just coming slowly towards you. And you didn't know where it was going to stop.
Some people didn't want to leave their properties, and they don't want to be defeated by the floodwater. I wouldn't want to leave my home and all my belongings if I was in that situation.
Residents of that property, with several people visiting.
And sometimes you just got to say, listen, guys, we need you to come out of your house. We don't want to come back here in 6 hours' time and find that you're now trapped upstairs and we can't get to you. There's no water for them. They can't use their loos. There's no food. There's no heating. And perhaps the thought of sleeping in a sports hall isn't the most appealing.
There was a lot of, shall we say, helping each other.
Yeah.
There was a lady making tea in the morning, offering and bringing cups of tea about.
And sometimes she said, sometimes my electricity works and sometimes it doesn't.
Okay.
I think people like community more than they let on.
What's the step?
When we were doing evacuations, there's people who, say, didn't know their neighbours, but you'd think that they were close friends within 5 minutes of them being in the same rescue boat together. When adversity hits, I think then people realise how important community is.
Give a list of the bags.
And that actually deep down that it's something that perhaps they crave as well.
Cheers.
There is a togetherness when you're being threatened. You come together and you're all facing the same serious problem.
Thanks for your help.
Okay, no problem.
Really appreciate it.
Okay.
I think it has affected me. I think I've also taken something positive from it as well. You add things to your own life with it then and sort of hug your own family that bit tighter and realise just how lucky you are.
People tend to think that nobody will do anything for nothing these days, and the RNLI just goes to show that people will still volunteer.
People want to help. I think if it wasn't for people volunteering, I think they'd have a very hard job trying to get people to go to sea for money.
We're an island nation. There's water all the way around us. There's always going to be someone who's going to be in trouble. So hopefully there'll always be a lifeboat service to save them.
Lindy, the lady who was pulled from the water after she swam out to sea, is doing well and hasn't had a relapse for over a year.
I had a diagnosis and it was an adjustment disorder. It's something that basically you can get through. I think I'm in a really good place because I'm able to talk about it. I think I am getting my confidence back up and, you know, making plans for the future.
Robin is still struggling to get over the experience of being caught in the tidal race.
It has definitely changed the way I would think I would deal with situations. I'm certainly a lot more nervous. I hope in the future I can rebuild the confidence that I once had so that I can take Alfie on boats and he can love, as I did as a child, the feeling of being on water.
Anne and the dogs suffered no lasting ill effects and still enjoy a walk on the beach.
I did think the very next day when I woke up safely in my bed how I would have felt if I'd not tried to save my dogs and they drowned just because I hadn't attempted to save them. Any dog owner will be able to relate to it. There's no way I could have left them there. You love them so dearly. They put all their trust in you.
The volunteers arranged a special Christmas present for the two young boys they rescued from the floodwaters.
I got one for you there, young man.
I was scared and I was thinking that we would have to swim out. Even I can't swim with no armbands. I can only swim 5 meters with no armbands.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
A lifeboat person.